Okay, we're back. All right, so last week, Microsoft came out with their Developers Direct showcase where they announced four new games. Out of those four games, three looked absolutely incredible. Scrumptious game that I can't wait to play. One of them looks like a little bit of a DEI slop fest. That is a less competent version of what we're going to talk about today, the series that we're going to talk about today. So, yeah, they announced the return of Ninja Gaiden. So, Ninja Gaiden was a cult classic series from back in the days, in the good old golden age of the Microsoft Xbox 1 and 2, well, Xbox 360. And they were one of my favorite series of all time. The action was frantic. It was absolutely insane, nuts to butts. It was punishing. It was hard. It needed a level of dedication and a commitment to the game to master it. I was like any other, unlike any other. So they announced Ninja Gaiden 4, which is gonna come out at the end of the year, in October, I think, if I remember correctly. And they also, in the same breath, announced that they're bringing back Ninja Gaiden 2. In the meantime, the remastered version with Unreal Engine 5, with all the bells and whistles of the current gen, and they also announced that they were releasing it same day. So not only did they announce it, they released it on Thursday last week. So we embarked on a little bit of a journey, being one of my favorite action games of all time. We embarked on a little bit of a journey the last Thursday. And the plan was to stream the game from start to finish at the max difficulty level possible, meaning Mentor, on a new, like basically brand new playthrough. There's one more difficulty level, but you can only access it once you've beaten the game for the first time. So we did that. We streamed for 29 hours and 15 minutes, and we did beat the game at the highest difficulty. And I'm coming to you with that kind of knowledge and that kind of experience in the rearview mirror to offer you a review on if you should purchase the game if you don't have Game Pass, or buy the game if you do have Game Pass, because it's on Game Pass right now. So yeah. So now, the story. The story of Ninja Gaiden is everything that you can expect from Team Ninja, from Tecmo Koei. It's garbage, hot garbage. The game starts, you don't know where you have no idea of the situation that's going on. There's a girl with a Karen haircut and basically a gimp suit that is talking to an old fart with an ass for a mouth because it's all puckered in, and yeah, he's there, and she gets kidnapped, and starts the game. Ryu Hayabusa just sweeps in, and he has to rescue that girl. So game starts right then and there, and you don't know who she is, you don't know what's going on. You have no idea of the stakes, the gambit. It's a mess. It is a mess. There's no emotional attachment to anything that's going on. It's basically a treadmill of blood and gore. I don't mind that. You know, it was like that in the days. Story was kind of a little bit of an afterthought. But we've had so many good things going out. All the Uncharted series, the Last of Us, there's the God of Wars. There's so many good stories out there, well woven, where you feel drawn into the world, where you develop an attachment, feelings for the characters, and the protagonists and the enemies, and the world that they inhabit in. And in this, there's none of that. There's none of that. It's just a murder simulator. So, story, hot garbage. Graphics, no. Hey, you're looking at Unreal Engine 5, so it is popping. It's phenomenal. It's well optimized with ray tracing. It's wonderful, spectacular. It's a very, very, very competent remaster of the game. I can't um, overstate how good it looks for such an aged game. Really, they did a phenomenal job with that coat of paint, for sure. Sound music, wonderful. The music is, it's your standard action game, rock, kind of pounding soundtrack. It's good. It's inoffensive. It's what you'd expect when you enter an arena. A bunch of enemies appear. They come at you, and the rock starts, and it goes and it pounds until it's over, and it's fine. Otherwise, it's a little bit of an ambiance, repeated, inoffensive, few chords and whatnot. So that's great. That's great. The sound mixing is phenomenal. It works well. You can know your bearings well. The channels are well separated. You can hear from where things are coming. It's good. It's really good. And it sounds super good with the depending on the weapon that you're using, the kind of impact it has, the kind of slashing it does. It's nice. It's really good. Now, here comes the little bit of the caveat, the gameplay. The gameplay, well, it's Ninja Gaiden. It's a brutal, punishing game. It's one of the hardest games or hardest series you can find out there. And I would argue, it is much harder than, let's say, an Elden Ring. Because of the nature of how the game is built and how archaic, how its age and design philosophies shows, and lack of quality of life features. Yeah, so basically the game is going to throw at you at some points 12, 13, 14 enemies, and with a different variety of them. You don't have one type of enemy to contend with. You have a rocket launcher, a couple rocket launcher guys, a couple explosive shurikens guys, a couple machine gun wielding guys, a couple of ninpo, which is the magic, fire ninpo, fireball hurling guys, and you have all of that all at once, and the camera is so close to your character that you never see all of them all at once. It's impossible. It's impossible to see what's going on and figure out. You're gonna see, and they're all rotating around you. They're all circling the drain around you and attacking you at the same time with attacks that some can't be blocked, some can't be parried, none can be deflected. And all of that's going on. You're gonna have people coming in to attack you in close combat. Most of them are gonna attack you from a distance with weapons, machine guns and such. So you have all of that going on at the same time, and you're trying to build in your head a way of tackling this kind of combat puzzle. Like, okay, I'm gonna take out the rocket guys first because they are like the biggest threat. They throw rockets that explode that I can't block. Well, you can block them, but it's kind of a Gatling rocket. They constantly fire. So you need to take that out. And then, okay, the machine gun guys. And then, okay, the explosive shuriken guys. So you try to build that, but you can't keep, you can't keep where they are around you in your mind because they move constantly. And it's too close. You have no radar. You have no lock-on. None. And the punish timings on bosses, the punish window timings on bosses are so narrow, and the bosses are so mobile, that without a lock-on, You have to manually thread that needle where you need to line up that shot before they put their guard up, and it happened countless times in that 30 hours of playtime. It happened countless times where I just whiffed. I got to a point where they did their attack that I can't punish because a lot of stuff can't be punished. So you wait and you try to goad for certain things, and when that happens, you have, let's say, half of a second to a second to do something, and you whiff. And you just whiff because, well, you couldn't line that shot up. You were just a little bit off course. And you lose track of them. You have no lock on, no radar. You have no way to really tell where they've been if they don't like phase the field of view. You have no way. So it's a very frustrating game, and it's not about the difficulty level. I wanted the difficulty level. I wanted it hard. It's the fact that the industry has moved on from that kind of design philosophy and implemented a couple of quality of life features for these kind of experiences that make it so that it's puzzles that don't rely on RNG but skill. There's a lot of RNG involved in how you're gonna triumph these fighting arenas. It depends on if you're gonna be able to lay your hand on certain types of enemies before you lose sight of them, before you are basically run a train on, gangbang, and if they're gonna disappear from your view. It depends. It hinges on if you can. There's attacks that are gonna one-hit kill. There's like critical hits that's gonna one-hit kill. It depends on if that's gonna hit a lot. Because that, like, you're gonna have 10 enemies at once, but once you get one down, a new one's coming to take its place. And you're gonna have that for maybe 30 people sometimes, 50. Before you're done with that sequence, with that fighting arena. So you're getting constantly bombarded by enemies that are replenished, and you have basically not a lot of time to like cool down where you're gonna, let's say, murder 2, and now you're only facing 8 for a little bit of time, so you can really focus fire on something that's a priority before you're back to 10 or 12. So it is a game that shows its age. There's a lot of missing features that makes the experience quite a threadmill. And so here's the verdict. Would I recommend buying the game at the price that it is right now? It's 65 Canadian, so I would assume probably about 50 US, or 45, something like that. I would say no. Don't buy this game. If you have Game Pass, by all means, it's there right now. You can play it. If you're really curious about the game, maybe get a month of Game Pass. It's, what, 15 bucks? Get that. But don't buy the game at this price point. I think you will be, yeah. It's not a game that aged graceful. It's beautiful. It's a very fun game when it works. But a lot of the time it doesn't really work well. And it makes it very frustrating because it's not something that's really in your control. You have only so much control in this game, and the rest is up to a lot of RNG. There's, also, a lot of bosses are recycled, and the most annoying bosses are recycled. You're gonna face some of them 2-3 times. And I would say that in and of itself, hot garbage. There's bosses in there that have undeflectable projectile attacks, which can't be blocked, which can only be parried. You lose track of them. They move, so they teleport basically, and The dodge animation, the dodge iframe is so tight that it has to be picture perfect, frame perfect in order to dodge. And you have no idea where they're coming from most of the time, because you have no radar, no nothing. So no. Should you buy this game? No. Should you wait for a deep discount? Yes. If you have Game Pass, play it if you want. It's on there. And otherwise, get a month of Game Pass. But don't buy this game full price. By all means, I think you would sorely regret it. But yeah, that's it. That's the review. Game has been beaten. It's been quite a trip, but yeah, I've been a little bit disillusioned by what was, in my memory, one of my favorite games in the action category. Sadly, we've seen better as the years have gone by. Devil May Cry 5, God of War, Black Myth Wukong, all of that, so much better. So much better. And with a story that you can feel a connection to, a relation. You can build a relationship with the characters. Whereas in this, it's murder. So, alright. That's it. Review. Done. Don't buy this. Okay. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.